I have often wondered whether anything I call my choice is truly mine. From the moment I came into being, I have been receiving through sight, sound, smell, taste, and sensation a continuous stream of inputs. These inputs form the raw material of my experience. They accumulate, organize, and settle into what I might call a personal database, a store of impressions, reactions, memories, and learned patterns. I do not choose what enters the store. It arrives uninvited, shaped by circumstance, environment, and chance.
And yet, from this very store, every thought I think and every action I take seems to emerge.
When I act, I feel as though I'm making a decision. But what is that decision really? It is a prediction, a small, momentary projection into the immediate future. I weigh possibilities, anticipate outcomes, and move accordingly. But this process is not created from nothing. It is assembled from what I already know, from what I have already experienced, from what my mind is capable of recognizing. In other words, every action is a rearrangement, a permutation and combination of what has already been given to me.
I cannot act what I do not understand, and I cannot understand what I have never, in some form, encountered.
Comprehension itself depends on prior data. It sometimes lies entirely outside my experimental framework. It remains invisible to my decision making. So even the range of my possible actions is constrained, not by visible barriers, but by the limit of my own accumulated experience.
This leads to an unsettling thought. What I call intention may not be an origin, but a result.
I believe I act because I intend to act, but my intention itself arises from my conditioning, my experiences, my learning, my mental structure. My will is not an independent force. It is shaped moment by moment by everything that has come before. The world impresses itself upon me, and from that impression, my thoughts and actions unfold. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "Man can do what he wants, but he cannot want what he wants." This distinction is crucial. I may feel free in choosing between options, but I do not choose the desire that makes those options meaningful to me in the first place. Those desires emerge from a chain of causes extending far beyond my awareness or control.
If my desires are not freely chosen, and my actions follow from my desires, then where exactly is my freedom?
What I call my world is not the world as it is, but the world as I perceive and comprehend it. And even this comprehension is conditioned. I do not control what I am capable of understanding at any given moment. I can only operate within its limits. My actions, then, are not independent creations, but expressions of a system already in motion, a system shaped by cause and effect, by complexity, by what one might call chaos. Every event feeds into the next. Every perception alters the structure through which future perceptions are interpreted, like a ripple in water or the flap of a butterfly's wings, echoing through a storm. Small inputs cascade into large consequences. I am not outside this chain, I am part of it. So when I say I acted, what I truly mean is a certain configuration of experiences, memories, and conditions produced an outcome that I recognize as my action. Even my awareness of acting, my sense that I'm doing this, depends on the same underlying structure. Without the prior framework that allows me to interpret an event as my action, there would be no such recognition at all. The label of karma or action is itself dependent on comprehension, and comprehension is dependent on what has already been given to me. In that sense, action and conditioning are not separate, they are continuous. What I do arises from what I have already been given, and what I have been given shapes what I can do. So I arrive at a quiet, perhaps uncomfortable conclusion. I do not initiate action in the way I imagine, I participate in it. I'm an expression of an ongoing process, not its origin. The world shapes my perception. My perception shapes my understanding. My understanding shapes my predictions, and my predictions shape my actions. And those actions in turn become part of the world that continues to shape me.
A loop without a clear beginning or end. If there is something like fate, it is not a script imposed from the outside, but the unfolding of this vast network of causes in which I am embedded. Not a rigid destiny, but an inevitable continuity. And in that continuity, I move, thinking I choose, while being shaped by everything that made choice possible.